All right, let's get ready for another deep dive.
Always exciting.
Today we're tackling the fundamentals of cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And trust me, this isn't just for, like, the techies out there.
Right.
Whether you're, scrolling through social media
For sure.
or managing your bank account online, like, understanding these core principles
Yeah.
can really make a difference
It can.
in protecting yourself.
Absolutely.
So let's
Let's get into it.
get into it.
So it's all about building a digital fortress, really.
Right. A digital fortress.
Yeah. Starting with the foundational stones of the CIA Triad.
Hey.
Confidentiality, integrity, and availability.
The CIA Triad.
Yeah.
It sounds a little cloak and dagger,
Right.
but I'm guessing it's not about, like, spies and secret missions?
Not quite, no.
Okay.
But it does involve protecting valuable information.
Okay.
So confidentiality is all about keeping sensitive data secret and accessible only to authorized individuals.
Right.
Think of it like a vault with multiple layers of security,
Okay.
making sure only those with the right clearance can get in.
So like how my banking app
Mm-hmm.
uses a password and then sends me a text with a code
Right.
to verify it's really me
Exactly.
and log in.
That's a perfect example of multi-factor authentication,
Okay.
a key part of ensuring confidentiality.
Gotcha.
But there's so much more to it than just passwords.
Okay.
We're talking about encryption,
Okay.
which scrambles data into an unreadable mess unless you have the decryption key.
Right.
Think of it like sending a coded message
Okay.
that only the intended recipient can decipher.
So encryption isn't just about keeping my online shopping sprees a secret from my partner.
Well, it can help with that too,
Okay.
but on a larger scale.
Yeah.
Encryption protects things like
Uh-huh.
financial transactions, medical records,
Right.
even top secret government communications.
That makes sense. But I've also heard about things like data leaks and breaches.
Right.
Doesn't that mean encryption isn't foolproof?
You're right. No system is absolutely impenetrable.
Okay.
That's why confidentiality also relies on things like access controls.
Okay.
So limiting who can see what information
Right.
and secure storage practices,
Okay.
both physical and digital.
So it's a kind of a multi-layered approach.
Yeah.
Like a fortress with, like, walls and guards.
That's a great analogy.
And maybe even a moat.
I like it.
So each layer reinforces the others,
Exactly.
making it much harder for attackers
Yes.
to breach the defenses and compromise confidentiality.
Exactly.
Okay, so confidentiality is all about keeping our data locked down tight.
Yeah.
But what about integrity?
So integrity is about ensuring that data remains accurate and unaltered,
Okay.
just as you originally intended it.
Right.
It's like guaranteeing a document hasn't been tampered with or forged.
So like how we used to seal letters with wax
Exactly.
to prove they hadn't been opened.
Right, right.
Yeah.
In the digital world, we use
Well.
techniques like hashing to create a unique fingerprint
Okay.
for a piece of data.
Yeah.
And if even a single bit of the data changes, the hash value changes dramatically,
Wow.
alerting us to any potential tampering.
So it's like a super sensitive tripwire,
Yes,
instantly detecting if someone's messed with the data.
exactly.
Clever.
Yeah, and integrity is crucial for everything,
Right.
from verifying the authenticity of software downloads to ensuring the accuracy of financial transactions and medical records.
Right.
Imagine the chaos if someone could manipulate bank transfers
Yeah.
or alter medical prescriptions without anyone knowing.
That's a chilling thought.
It is.
So
Yeah.
confidentiality keeps our data secret,
Mhm.
and integrity makes sure it's accurate.
Right.
But what about availability?
Okay, so
It
availability,
sounds like it's about being able to actually access our data
you hit the nail on the head.
when we need it.
Availability is all about ensuring that systems and data are accessible whenever they're needed.
Right.
Think of it like the electricity grid.
Oh,
You flip the switch,
Yeah.
you expect the lights to turn on, right?
Oh, yeah, most of the time.
Most of the time.
But what happens if the power goes out?
Right.
Everything grinds to a halt.
It does.
I guess that's why we have backup generators.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in the digital world,
Okay.
we use redundancy and backups
Okay.
to ensure availability even when things go wrong.
Right.
Think of it like having multiple copies of your data stored in different locations.
Okay.
If one server crashes,
Yeah.
you can access your data from another one.
That's a relief.
It is.
So it's about having a plan B
Yes.
or even plan C, just in case
Just in case.
things go south.
Yeah.
But what about those attacks I hear about
Right.
that try to overload websites
Mm-hmm.
and take them offline? Don't those affect availability?
You're talking about DDoS attacks,
Okay.
distributed denial of service.
Right.
It's like a digital mob
Sure.
trying to overwhelm a website with traffic,
Yeah.
causing it to crash
Right.
and become unavailable to legitimate users.
Sounds chaotic.
It can be.
Is there any way to defend against that kind of digital mob?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's where DDoS protection services come in.
Okay.
Think of them as digital bouncers,
Right.
filtering out the bad traffic,
Yeah.
and ensuring that legitimate users can still access the website.
So it's all about keeping the website doors open for the good guys
Exactly.
while shutting out the troublemakers.
Yes.
Okay, so availability is crucial for everything from online banking and e-commerce
Yes.
to healthcare systems and critical infrastructure.
Absolutely.
Imagine the consequences if hospitals couldn't access patient records
Right.
or air traffic control systems went down.
Huge impact.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a sobering thought.
It is.
It really highlights how much we rely on
Yeah.
these systems being available 24/7.
We do.
So we've got confidentiality, integrity, and availability.
The 3 pillars.
The 3 pillars of the CIA Triad.
The CIA Triad.
They all seem pretty essential for a secure digital world.
They are.
But is that all there is to cybersecurity?
Well, it's a fantastic foundation, but cybersecurity is like
Right.
a constantly evolving puzzle,
Okay.
and there are more pieces to fit in.
Okay, so what else is there?
Yeah.
It sounds like we've already covered a lot.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
The CIA Triad sets the ground rules.
Right.
But to truly protect ourselves and our data,
Yeah.
we need strategies to put those principles into action.
Okay.
That's where concepts like defense in depth come in.
Defense in depth.
Yeah.
Sounds intense.
It is a pretty powerful concept.
Is that where we bring out the big guns?
You could say that.
Okay.
Imagine a castle
Okay.
with multiple layers of defense.
Okay.
A moat, thick walls, archers on the towers,
Yeah.
guards at the gate.
Okay, gotcha.
Even if the attackers get past one layer,
Mm-hmm.
they face another and another,
Right.
making it much harder to reach their target.
So it's not just about having like one strong lock on the door,
No.
but like multiple security measures working together.
Precisely.
Okay.
In cybersecurity, defense in depth means
Yeah.
implementing a variety of security tools and techniques.
Okay, so like what?
Firewalls, antivirus software,
Right.
intrusion detection systems,
Okay.
multi-factor authentication, and more.
So each layer
Yeah.
provides a different type of protection,
Exactly.
working in unison to create
Yeah.
a robust defense.
A robust defense.
So if one layer fails,
Right.
the others are still there to back it up.
Exactly.
And by diversifying our defenses,
Yes.
we make it much harder for attackers to exploit
Mhm.
any single weakness.
Any single weakness.
It's just about creating a security ecosystem
Yeah.
where different tools complement and reinforce each other.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like having a safety net under the safety net.
I like it.
But how do we decide
So
what layers to include?
that's a good question.
Yeah. Is there like a standard formula?
While there's no one-size-fits-all approach,
Okay.
there are some common principles
Right.
that guide defense in-depth strategies.
Okay.
One key principle is least privilege,
Okay. Least privilege.
which is all about granting users
Mm-hmm.
only the minimum level of access
Okay.
they need to do their jobs.
So not everyone gets a master key to every room in the castle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By limiting access,
Right.
we reduce the potential damage an attacker could cause
Mm-hmm.
if they compromise a user account.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Think about it.
Okay.
If an employee only has access to the files
Right.
they need for their daily tasks,
Mm-hmm.
an attacker who gains access to their account
Yeah.
won't be able to access
Right.
sensitive financial data
Right.
or customer information.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's like having different levels of security clearance,
It is.
just like in, those spy movies.
Exactly.
But wouldn't like
Yeah.
restricting access make things inconvenient for
Yeah.
employees?
That's where well-defined processes and workflows come in.
Okay.
If someone needs temporary access
Right.
to a specific file or system,
Yeah.
they can request it through an authorized process. Might
Yeah.
take a bit more time,
Right.
but it's a small price to pay for enhanced security.
Right. It's about striking a balance
It is.
between security and usability.
Exactly.
So I've got defense in depth
Yeah.
and least privilege.
Mm-hmm.
What other pieces are there to this cybersecurity puzzle?
There's one more piece that's increasingly crucial
Oh.
in today's interconnected world.
All right, let's hear it.
Zero trust.
Zero trust.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of pessimistic.
Right.
Like we can't trust anyone or anything.
It's not about pessimism, but about realism.
Oh.
The traditional model of security was like a castle
Right.
with a strong perimeter,
Yeah.
protect the outside walls, and everyone inside is trusted. But in today's world, threats can come from anywhere, even inside the organization.
So it's like realizing that even those inside the castle walls could pose a threat.
Precisely.
Wow.
Zero Trust flips the script and says, never trust, always verify. Every user, every device, every connection is treated as potentially hostile until proven otherwise.
So it's like having a security checkpoint at every corridor in the castle.
I like that.
Constantly checking IDs and making sure everyone belongs there.
That's a great analogy. Zero Trust involves implementing strong authentication and authorization mechanisms, continuous monitoring of network activity, and micro-segmentation of networks to limit the lateral movement of attackers.
Wow. It sounds pretty intense.
It's a robust approach for sure.
But wouldn't like all that constant verification slow things down and make it harder for people to do their jobs?
It's true that Zero Trust requires a shift in mindset. And can involve some initial adjustments. But the benefits far outweigh the costs in today's world, where data breaches and cyber attacks are becoming increasingly common. Zero Trust is essential for creating a truly resilient security posture.
So we've got the CIA Triad.
Sets the foundation.
Setting the foundation. Defense in depth.
Building up the walls.
Building up the walls. Least privilege controlling access. And Zero Trust.
Keeping everyone on their toes.
Keeping everyone on their toes. It sounds like a pretty comprehensive approach to cybersecurity.
It is.
But all these concepts and technical terms can feel overwhelming. How can we make cybersecurity more relatable?
Well, that's a great point.
And understandable for, like, everyday folks?
Cybersecurity doesn't have to be shrouded in technical jargon. We can use real-world examples and relatable analogies
I like that.
to make these concepts accessible to everyone.
So let's ditch the technical manuals.
Yeah, let's do it.
And dive into some real-world scenarios.
Let's go.
All right, let's get down to, like, brass tacks.
Let's do it.
Give me some real-world stories that illustrate why all this cybersecurity stuff actually matters.
Okay, let's start with a scenario that hits close to home for many people. Online banking.
Oh, yeah, online banking.
Imagine logging into your account and finding your balance mysteriously drained. All thanks to a hacker who exploited a vulnerability in the bank's website security.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare scenario.
It is.
Yeah.
So
that's confidentiality gone wrong, right? Someone accessed information they shouldn't have.
Someone accessed information they shouldn't have. This could involve weak passwords, unpatched software, or even phishing scams tricking users into revealing their login credentials.
Yeah, those are tricky.
They are.
So that's why banks invest heavily in security measures.
They do.
Like encryption, multi-factor authentication, and fraud detection systems to protect customer accounts.
Exactly.
So it's like they're constantly reinforcing the walls of that digital bank vault.
Yes.
But what about integrity?
Okay, so integrity.
Can you give me an example of how a breach in data integrity could play out?
Yeah. Imagine a hospital where someone tampers with patient medical records. Allergies, medications, dosages. Crucial information could be altered. Leading to potentially life-threatening consequences.
That's the terrifying.
It is a scary thought.
A simple typo or a malicious change could have disastrous effects.
Absolutely.
So that's why hospitals, along with other organizations dealing with sensitive data, rely on hashing algorithms and digital signatures to guarantee data integrity.
Guarantee data integrity.
These measures ensure that any changes to the records are detected, preventing accidental errors or intentional manipulation.
Exactly.
So it's like having a digital tamper-proof seal
I like it.
on those records.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Okay.
So we've seen how confidentiality and integrity can play out in real-world scenarios.
Yes.
But what about availability?
So
what happens when those systems we rely on
yeah.
become unavailable?
Remember that time a major airline experienced a system outage?
Oh, yeah.
That grounded flights nationwide.
Oh, yeah, that was a mess.
U.S.
Travelers were stranded. The airline faced huge financial losses.
Big time.
What caused that?
It was a single point of failure.
Okay.
A critical router that failed.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't an adequate backup system in place.
Wow.
This highlights the importance of redundancy.
Okay, so redundancy.
Having backup systems ready to kick in if the primary one fails.
Right, just in case.
Just in case.
Think of it like having a spare tire in your car.
Exactly.
You might not need it often.
Right.
But when you do,
yeah,
you're really glad you have it.
You're very glad you have it.
So it's all about being prepared.
It is.
For the unexpected.
Yes.
But redundancy can't protect against everything, right?
Well, you're right.
What about those DDoS attacks we talked about? Those can take down even the most robust systems.
They can. It's a real threat.
Imagine a popular online gaming platform getting hit with a massive DDoS attack.
Oh, man.
I bet the gamers would not be happy.
Not at all. Not at all.
The gaming servers could become overloaded.
Right.
Unresponsive.
Yeah.
Taking players offline and disrupting tournaments.
Absolutely.
This is where specialized DDoS protection services come into play.
They do.
Acting as a shield to filter out malicious traffic and keep the gaming platform running smoothly.
Keep it all running.
So it's like having a digital bouncer at the entrance of the server, keeping out the troublemakers.
Keeping out the troublemakers.
And ensuring legitimate users can still get in.
Exactly.
And this concept applies to any online service.
It does.
From e-commerce websites to critical infrastructure like power grids and communication network.
Absolutely.
It's amazing to see how these cybersecurity principles, which can seem kind of abstract,
they can,
play out in such tangible ways.
They do.
It really underscores why we need to take cybersecurity seriously.
Exactly.
Not just at the organizational level, but also in our own digital lives.
In our own digital lives as well.
Every time we connect to the internet, we're entering a complex digital ecosystem.
We are.
And understanding the basic principles of cybersecurity is crucial.
It is.
For navigating that ecosystem safely and responsibly.
Safely and responsibly.
It's like learning the rules of the road.
Exactly.
Before driving a car.
Yes.
You need to be aware of the potential hazards. And how to avoid them.
Absolutely.
And just like driving cybersecurity is an ongoing journey.
It is.
Of learning and adapting.
Constant learning and adapting.
As technology evolves.
Yes.
And new threats emerge. We need to stay informed, stay vigilant. And stay ahead of the curve.
Stay ahead of the curve.
So it's not just about setting up our defenses.
No.
And then forgetting about them.
It's not a one-time thing.
We need to be proactive. And constantly updating our knowledge and practices. And remember, cybersecurity is a shared responsibility.
It is.
By working together, sharing information, and promoting a culture of security awareness.
Yes.
We can create a safer and more resilient digital world.
Absolutely.
For everyone.
For everyone.
Well said.
Thank you.
I think that's a perfect note to end on.
I agree.
We've journeyed you from the foundations of the CIA Triad to the real-world implications of cybersecurity breaches. And we've seen how these principles play out in our everyday lives.
We see them every day.
We've explored the layered defenses of defense in depth. The access control of least privilege, and the constant vigilance of zero trust.
Very important.
And we've learned that cybersecurity is not just about technology, but about people, processes, and culture.
It's all connected.
So as we venture back into the digital world, let's remember the lessons we've learned today.
Let's do that.
Stay curious, stay informed.
Yes.
And stay safe out there.
Stay safe out there.